Hello, everyone. Welcome to BB's African News Magazine show on Jambo Radio. I am Benny Briggs McKinley, and as always, I will be your host. It's Monday, and we're back again. We have an amazing show planned for everybody. Today, we have Baron in the house. Baron, you ready for today's show? And we have Samson in the house as well. Everyone is here. We're all here and accounted for. It's going to be a great show. We have music, history, politics, news, African Spotlight, all the greatest hits, everything you like about the BB show. We have everything planned for you. And to start, and remember, you can contact us and join the show at any time. Just call 0141 530 2787. That's 0141 530 2787. Call that number and you can join us if you're shy. Just go on our social media, write a comment, and we'll read out your comment live on air. So join us, give your opinions, ask questions, question anything you want to do. We're right here. If you want to find us on social media, just use Jambo Radio and Scotland. The 3 words, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you get your social media, will be there for you. So all you have to do is write Jambo Radio and Scotland, and we'll be right there. Okay, let's begin. To start our show off on a very nice, calm, really, really cool mode. Here is Organized by Ashake. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Gidi ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ǹdàkúnjẹ ń sinmi ṣe mí jọ́nà èmi yàtọ̀ sáwọn nǹkan kàmí sọ́tọ̀ ọjọ́bọ̀jọ́bọ̀ ẹgbà lọ́kọ̀lọ́kọ̀ tó bá fọ́kọ̀ say tonight for the club we go turn up everybody ready for me to gbọ́ngàn ìdí gbọ̀ngàn. gbàgbé òṣì àwa nìkan ní kò sóṣì I no go let anyone control anything wey I wan do I go do. gbàgbé òṣì àwa nìkan ní kò sóṣì I no go let anyone control anything that I want to, I go to. Every other day I organize. Some of us are wise. Every other message to our wives. Olagbaju, Ogbon, ìwọ ló gbọ́njú. Ọgbọ́n Sadiq. Agbọ́ngbọ́njú, ọgbọ́n. I'm a man like Baba, but she like what you.
That was Organized by Ashake. We are back in the studio, and before we start with our planned political news, I want to talk about the elephant in the room, which is American politics is been turned on its head overnight, hasn't it? So Joe Biden has officially dropped out of the race, and he has endorsed his VP Kamala Harris as president to run for president for the Democratic Party, and this changes everything. So usually would have planned this, but the fact that she's a half black, half Asian, that's it. The fact that she's going to be, if she does win, she'll be the first female president of the United States. That's something. The fact that Joe Biden was gracious enough and selfless enough to drop out when the pressure came, and he thought, let me do what's best for the country. Let me actually put the country before my own personal, accolades and plans. To be that selfless, that's really pretty significant. And it shows the selflessness that is maybe not reflected on the other side. And just the idea that it's now anybody's game, because we still have how many months until November? There are elections in November, so anything can happen. it's not too late for, Kamala to go on the offensive, because Democrats have been playing very, very safe with the Republicans so far, being very classy and cool, while the other side has been, well, Trump, whatever you think of Trump. So I don't know, what do you think? Do you think Democrats and white women in America will be able to put aside their race and be able to say, I'm going to vote for a fellow woman over whiteness? Or do you think this is too much for them to think the first female president will not be a white woman? Do you think they'll be able to make that distinction, Baron? What do you think?
It's difficult. So I don't know. It depends. It's different people do different decisions.
People say all kinds of things until they get into the voting booth, right?
Yeah.
And also, historically, white women have voted for Trump. Like, I'm sorry to bring everything down to race, but in American politics, race is a huge factor, whether we like it or not. So they have all the, they have the Asian voting bloc, the black voting bloc, the white voting bloc, the white Republican, white Democratic, all of that. But if you look at who voted for Trump, with all the things he said against women and all his misogyny and all his, allegations and everything, 54% of white women voted for him, on the Republican side. Mm-hmm. And then when it was Hillary's turn, she could have been the first female president, but the white men did not show up enough for her on that side. So I think sometimes they put their race over the agenda, So it's interesting how this will play out, because if Kamala does win, she will be the first female president in the States ever.
Yeah.
But then she's not going to be a white female president.
So it might just be a case of, we'd like to have a female president, but not this one.
Yes.
Yeah,
so that could be for some voters. That could be. Would they be able to make the jump? Put that aside and just do what's best, or just go for it, or is it more important to them to have It's an interesting conversation, and the way the next few weeks play out will be very interesting. But I do think black women in America have to buckle up, because there's going to be quite a few attacks on them in the coming weeks and months. Mm-hmm. They need to get ready for that.
Yeah, and we'll be here watching.
We'll be here watching on this side. Now, bringing it back home, did you know that net migration to Scotland has more than doubled in the last couple of years? Did you hear about that?
No, but I do know that lots of people have moved here in the last 2 years.
Yeah, so let's talk about it. So net migration to Scotland has more than doubled in the year between 2021 and 2022, up to the highest level in a decade. In the year 2022, net migration was 48,000 people compared to 22,000 people the previous year. So National Records of Scotland, which published figures, said the rise was due to higher levels of international migration to cities such as Glasgow and Edinburgh. This increase is likely to be the result of a substantial rise in the number of international students studying at universities in Scotland, said Esther Rosshedge, who is the NRS Head of Population and Migration. The countries from which international students are coming has also changed significantly in the last few years. There's been a sharp increase in those coming from outside the EU and a decrease from those coming from inside the EU since Brexit. Students from China saw the highest increase. However, the migration estimates for 2023 show that 11% of migrants were from EU countries, while 82% came from non-EU countries. And the remaining 7% were from British nationals moving to Scotland. So that's interesting. Nigeria's on the list. Nigeria is like number 4 on the list, I think. Other China and other Asian countries and non-EU countries, which has turned everything on its head, hasn't it? I think because Scotland is more welcoming and people are just making the decision not to go to England and study in Scotland in particular. I think that's also quite attractive to people who are coming looking to relocate.
Yeah, and again, you also mentioned the standard of living. It's it's not crazy like living like
the cost of living as well.
Manchester, London as well.
Yeah. It's an interesting one. Right, we're gonna move on. There's not much to say about that. We're happy. We need people in Scotland because we're not many I keep saying it, we're not many. We're only 5 million. There's 60 million in England. And sorry, they're not 50 million or so. And we're only 5. So we do need people here to do jobs, to contribute to taxes, to our NI, but we need good people. So people who are coming are good people, then we're happy to, to receive them, for them to make their lives here. But we want the best to come to Scotland, but we do need people to come to Scotland. We can't just say, oh, no migration. We do need people, and we do welcome people, but we want people who will contribute and will form part of our Scottish family. That's what we want. Correct?
Yep.
Right, and moving on, in non very surprising news, we have let's play a song and come back. We're going to talk about this one. Let's play a song and come back. Baron, I'm glad you choose the next song. You choose the next song and we'll come back in 2 minutes.
Dis-lui que Ibouissa Pimpa Huberti Bangani Babé Maziko Sandra Zingeti de Rakabak tous les cas With the mall de génie Amba, linge qui se casse. Ah. Johnny Cole exécuteur. Shako, Itachi Moyo, Shirako Makayabu. Turbo, Meradona, Bijou Isia, Jean-Claude Moukania. Ah. Lola Mpongo, Hervel Ntsiri. Rodolphe Ntumba Marthe Kayuma Takanjuru Njongongo
Hello, we're back to BB's African News Magazine show on Jambo Radio, and we were just about to start discussing Rwanda. Have you guys heard that the Rwandan President Paul Kagame has won his re-election bid? And do you know what percentage of the vote he took?
99.
Oh yeah, 99%. Fantastic. Let's hear about it. So Rwanda's President Paul Kagame has smashed his own record by winning last Monday's elections with more than 99% of the vote. The 66-year-old won the 2017 election with 98.6% of the vote, higher than the 93% he got in 2010 and 95% in 2003. His critics say Mr. Kagame's thundering majority has come as no surprise, as he rules with an iron hand. However, his supporters say they point to his huge popularity, with Rwanda having achieved stability and economic growth under his rule. Mr. Kagame is a former rebel commander whose forces swept to power in 1994, ending a genocide that claimed the lives of about 800,000 people in about 100 days. The Electoral Commission barred at least 3 presidential aspirants, including the president's most vocal critics, from contesting. It, however, allowed 2 candidates, the Democratic Green Party's Frank Habineza and independent Philippe Mkandiama, to run against him. But they got 0.53 and 0.32 respectively, worse than in 2017, when their combined vote topped the 1% mark. Voter turnout was remarkably high, 98% according to the Electoral Commission. Kagame's unprecedented score of 99% in the election should be seen as a reflection of just how limited political space for the opposition is in Rwanda today, Clementine de Montjoy of the campaign group Human Rights Watch said. The outcome does not bode well for anyone seeking to engage in legitimate and credible opposition activities, she said. Rwanda, however, is one of the fastest growing economies in Africa. All right. So my question is, if he's getting results and the country is stable and the economy is doing great and there's tourism and there's investment and it's clean and people are doing well, does it matter if he's, a bit iron-handed and strong-fisted when it comes to how he rules? And also, do you believe the 99% was real?
First, I don't believe 99% is real, because that's basically everyone saying, "Oh yeah, go ahead, you do
Every
well."
single person. Voter turnout was 99%.
Yeah.
By the way, so everybody who was registered to vote voted. That's incredible already.
Yeah. How possible is that?
Yeah.
Then, on the other hand, if he's doing well, if he's doing his job well, it doesn't really. There's no need for him to rule in that way.
In pepper, exactly.
Yeah. So everything will work seamlessly because the heavy-handed comes in when let's say, for example, you're not doing well and then and people want to protest and then you're just trying to keep them quiet and then stop all forms of protest. So if he's actually doing well, there'll be no need for that.
I don't know. I mean, on the surface, they say he's given women visibility in the parliament. I think it's a 50-50 split in their parliament, in genders. People have a good standard of living. The economy is growing. All of that. People go there to visit. They say the place looks fantastic. All of that. But you scratch the surface a little bit and talk to some of the people who have left the country who are actually here in Scotland or all over the world, and they have a different story to tell. But they're so scared to tell their story, actually, because they feel like if they tell their story, they can't even go back to Rwanda. You know that? They don't like talking about it. They don't like talking about him. They don't like, any of that. They feel like they are actually at risk if they speak up on how they really feel. So it's a balance. If he's doing a great job, why are people in such fear? Yeah.
So, I think while trying to mask as a democracy, could still be like dictatorship, like allegedly, Bruce Lee's cousin. So yeah. So it's a common thing with African leaders anyway.
Yeah. All right, we're going to jump from Rwanda and we're going to go to Zambia. This is an interesting one for me. I'm so happy I have two guys with me in the studio today because I cannot wait to talk about this one. So, boys, did you hear about the boys that were rescued in Zambia after being abducted for circumcision?
No.
Oh, boy, do I have a story for you. So 48 boys in Zambia have been rescued from a male circumcision camp after desperate complaints by some parents that their children had been abducted. Secretive traditional rites of passage ceremonies see boys aged between 10 and 17 spending up to 6 months in seclusion in the bush. The authorities say the site on the outskirts of Livingston town near a national wildlife park had been set up without permission, alleging the children were caged in unsanitary and dangerous conditions. 3 of the rescued boys were briefly admitted to hospital for some treatment from complications after undergoing circumcision typically done using razor blades. The initiation site, which was established about 2 weeks ago, has since been burnt down, the country's national broadcaster said. So those setting up such camps search for uncircumcised boys to undergo the ritual known as mukanda, often going to schools and forcing their way into classrooms to pick up those who they deem the right age. Their parents are not consulted, and teachers can do little to resist their bullying tactics. Some of the boys go along willingly, while many are coerced and told they cannot buck the tradition. The persons who set up this particular camp was reprimanded on Monday by the top civil servant in gender ministry, Ms. Kabika. She led a team of officials from various ministries to Livingston to investigate the parents' complaints. She said, "We want to preserve our tradition, but you have to follow regulations. You just don't do things against the law like this." Although surgical male circumcision is available at both public and private hospitals in Zambia and is often encouraged as a way to reduce HIV infection, certain ethnic groups prefer the traditional approach. The procedure tends to take place in the southern hemisphere winter to minimize the discomfort associated with the healing process, though the rite of passage is intended to be a test of endurance. The boys are expected to put up with pain and difficult living conditions. For example, they sleep on the bare ground with no blankets to prove that they can move from boyhood to manhood. The initiation is steeped in secrecy. It's a cultural taboo to talk about it, and women are not allowed to go near a circumcision site. But Ms. Kebika said, how do you keep these children without their parents' consent? Is that what tradition says? And Billy Milimo, the Secretary of Livingston District Education, he welcomed the rescue, saying the tradition was harmful to the community. The owner of the camp was initially arrested, but released on the condition that he burned down the site of the camp, mainly made up of rough wooden shelters. Okay. So, what do you guys think? It's once again the question of tradition versus modernity. Are we losing all our culture? You know, this is things that have been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years, right? The boys get taken away, they prove their manhood, they live in tough conditions, they get circumcised the traditional way, then they come back to the society and community as a man. But is it time to move on? Do we let go of these things? Should it be more standardized, perhaps? Maybe more standardized. That way they're less in less danger of, it must maybe more regulated with centers, traditional centers. Or do you think this cowboy approach is tradition? What do you guys think?
I think it should be more standardized in a way that they should recognize that things are not the way it used to be before. Maybe before they needed the boys to,
suffer a little bit.
Maybe go hunt for food by themselves. How about try and mix it up now and try to get them to gain a bit of skill that help them in the modern world, not going to the bush to stay. And
also, if there are circumcision facilities available in the hospitals, is that killing the tradition? The old tradition of taking them in, working together as a group, that bonding thing, and then doing the circumcision and holding. I think you do without anesthesia, maybe just to show that you're tough and all that. I don't know. I like tradition. I do like traditional things, but I don't think abducting them from school is the way to go about it.
No, it's not a way to go about it. And again, if they're actually doing that, it shouldn't be that an abduction. It should be with the consent of the parent. The parent should be well aware, and then they should have medical practitioners on site. So we don't know the practice that's going on there. We don't know if it's the same tools they're using for
one boy is the other.
Yeah.
And I think some of the boys got sick. Some boys were actually rushed to hospital. They got sick and everything. So it's not safe.
Yeah.
Samson, what do you think about all of this? Are you for tradition or?
Yeah.
Are you for tradition or are you for the modern version or mix?
Modern.
How am I not surprised?
Because see that kind of stuff is like they're still clinging to past kind of things, and that's one thing that Africa lacks. We tend to go to our forefathers did this, so why should we not do it? But it doesn't work like that anymore, because those guys or those kids had freedom to do whatever they want, but you chose that for them.
But aren't you scared that if we let go of all our traditions for modernity, we're going to lose everything that makes us African? We're not the same. People are different. In India, they have their traditions. In Mexico, they have their traditions. When a girl turns 16, they have a quinceañera. In India, when you're getting married, there's certain rituals you have to do. In, Canada, they have the way they do things. Everybody has their way. In Polynesia, you have to do certain moves and dances to prove certain things. Everybody has traditions. If we lose everything to modernity and we're not all the same, are we going to just be bland people? You know?
I'm not saying lose everything, but there's certain type of things that we could be like, you know what, it's not acceptable now. Cause like that stuff like that, you can't do it in a Western world because they'll be like, it doesn't make any sense. And if you try to be like, oh, you know what, our forefathers did this, that's where the problem is. Your forefathers did this. These people were like 1,000 years old, and in that time, so much has changed. So many things has happened. So you clinging back to that, it doesn't create a good space or good reputation for Africa in general.
Yeah, and again, there are certain laws then, or there are new laws now that were not applicable back then. So now you have to do everything.
And new diseases as well. The infection rates were not the same kind of infections they had back then.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I must say, I do like the idea of, keeping certain things. So I do like the idea of regulation. So let's say you have this traditional camps, like you said, Byron, we'll have a, medical person there to make sure it's, is au fait and it's hygienic and all of that, but still do the dances, do a few of the endurance tests, just to make the boys feel, like there's this bond. I'm sure boys will have this bond rather than just taking a boy to a hospital and doing the circumcision and not, but being in a camp together, some dances, some traditions, some foraging, some this, some that, a bit of mix and match, and then do the the circumcision. Make them feel bonded, like they're part of the land, part of tradition. I think there's some merit in that, as long as it's safe, but not abducting them from school without their parents' permission, no regulation, the sanitary part of things. You don't know whether it's safe or not. I think that's wrong.
You're right.
It's good to. I like tradition. I've always liked tradition. Well, I hear you, Samson. I do. All right, guys, we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about. I have some other stories to talk about, but right now here is the absolutely magnificent H. Becca, and this is Trusting in the Destiny. Enjoy.
Set free and let things be. Ain't a problem to worry about, especially when birthing truth in a world of many lies. I look at you as if to cry, to make you see this is not fading bliss. Trusting in the destiny, doing the things that I need to do. Trusting in the destiny that I'm sure of, that I know. If you're mine, you gon' come on back. If you're mine, that's a fact. If you're mine, you won't be long before the beats and the pieces fall in place to make you trust in my love for you. Let time and chance have its way, and when the shadow passes by, the substance will tell us why I'm hooked on you without surprise, revolving around and around to get to you. I'd gladly pay the price, and I'm sure in time you'll understand why I'm trusting in the destiny, doing the things that I need to do. Trusting in the destiny that I'm sure of, that I know. What is mine will always be mine. What is mine, that's a fact.
right, we're back from MBB's African News Bag Show on Jambo Radio. We are here on a Monday morning, and don't forget, guys, you can join us at any time. So just call 0141-530-2787. That's 0141-530-2787. Join us, ask, call, comment, and fight, argue. We're here for you. All right, moving on to, we're going to jump to Cameroon. From Zambia, we're going to jump to Cameroon now because, I don't know if you heard this, but the daughter, Brenda Bia, the daughter of the Cameroonian president, has come out as gay, and she hopes to help gay folk in Cameroon. So the daughter of Cameroon's president has said she hopes that by coming out as a lesbian, she can help change laws that ban homosexuality in her home country. Brenda Bia, who lives between the United States and Switzerland, came out on in an Instagram post last month. The 27-year-old said she had not come out to her family before she publicly posted the photo of her kissing her girlfriend. She said, there are plenty of people in the same situation as me who suffer because of who they are. If I can give them hope, help them feel less alone, if I can send love, I'll be happy. Same-sex relations are punishable by up to 5 years in prison in Cameroon. Her father, Paul Biya, who has led Cameroon for 4 decades, has not publicly commented on the matter. Brenda Biya said the law punishing gay relations existed before her father came into power in 82, and she hopes the story will lead to change in the legislation. It may be too soon for it to disappear completely, but it could be less strict. We could eliminate the prison sentence, she said in an interview. Cameroonian LGBT rights activist Bandi Kiki says she is happy for Bia. However, it highlights a harsh reality. Anti-LGBT laws in Cameroon disproportionately target the poor. Wealth and connections create a shield for some, while others face severe consequences. I think that's absolutely correct. I think it shows the real line between the haves and the haves not, because nothing's going to happen to Brenda. She's not going to jail for 1 second if she ever visits Cameroon or her dad or whatever. But I think those on ground who don't have the means and the connection she does, if they come out or live openly, they'd be in more trouble.
Yeah, it's common thing in Africa. So what do we expect? Yeah, so I'm sure she will visit anytime she wants, go out as she likes. So it's not going to be a problem for her. So it's good that she's fighting for the others that won't have the privilege she has.
Yeah. I mean, do you think it's going to make any effect at all, her comment? Can people point now and go, yeah, but the president's daughter, do you think that will help other people within that community in Cameroon?
Probably not. I mean, maybe I should give Nigeria as an example. You could see, you've seen videos where government officials are taking bribe and then,
and then a regular person.
Yeah. So someone that is embezzling billions, for example, doesn't go to jail, and then someone that just pinch a bill of a few thousands goes to jail. So yeah, there is different rules for the wealthy and different rules for the poor. So
yeah, but I do think representation matters.
Yeah. So
even if one popular person or famous person can be the face of something, it could give others hope. Maybe not, like you said, maybe remove the prison sentence. Maybe still not. They might not still be completely accepted or be able to live as openly as their cohorts who are not in same-sex relationships. But maybe don't send people to jail for their relationships. Maybe that could work. That could, if she manages that alone, her coming out might have been worth it, for her country people.
Yeah. If she can do that, then I mean, she would have achieved a lot. With that.
I wish them the best. I really do wish them all the best. Okay, we're going to have a song and we're going to come back and do our African travel segment. I cannot wait to share with you what this week's segment is. But here is Sukari by Zuchu. Enjoy.
Hey, yo, Tron.
Eti nimemlambisha ananambia chumbeza, tena nikizidisha ananambia koleza, nikitaka kusitisha ananambia ongeza, japo imethibitishwa ila itampoteza, ikipanda ni bala, ikishuka ndo hatari. akitaka nampa sukari, nampatia sugar sukari, nampatia sukari, nampatia sugar sukari, nampatia sukari, nampatia sugar sukari, nampatia sukari, nampatia sugar sukari, nampatia. Na akili ya njaa juu mjasifanyia jizi na mjazi aja juu jana vitangawizi yeah. Baba chanja chukua vyote chukua vitafune nganja nganja chakua mwaya chakua ujibusti na karanga tuliza na kitumbua ila jihadhari na majanga we usije ukaugua mana ikipanda ni bala ikishuka ndo hatari asijepata madhara akaikosa na hali ladha yake msala shira ya Kizanzibari na misi mjimi wala akitaka nampa sukari nampatia sugar sukari nampatia 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 nimroge kwa nini kasanoge tambua tambua sukari nitamkolea tambua nasema tambua tambua we tambua tambua alua tambua we tambua nasema tambua tambua we tambua unawa kama unafua iguru nyanyua tambua.
All right, that was Sukari by Zuchu from South Africa. I hope you enjoyed that. I really, really like that song. Okay, it's time to travel. Are you guys ready? So every week we talk about an amazing place in Africa to visit, and today we're still in Africa, but we're just going to go slightly into the Indian Ocean. And I think by now you already know where I might be going. It's one or two or three choices in this particular regard. And you just may not have planned your summer holiday already, or you're planning your winter holiday or next summer holiday. Anyway, all year round, this place has the best weather all year round. So don't worry about it. You can go whenever you want. And it's one of the most beautiful places in the world, not just in Africa, in the world. So sit back, relax, and we have our friends telling us all about the 10 best places to visit in Seychelles. African travel segment. Here we go.
Beaming with breathtakingly white beaches, lush greenery, and gorgeous towering mountains, the magical Seychelles is well and truly one of the world's most beautiful destinations. An island paradise in every sense of the word, the Seychelles is especially popular with honeymooners looking for an unforgettable getaway filled with relaxation and romance. An archipelago country consisting of 115 tiny islands spanning the vast Indian Ocean, this peaceful nation's attractions are incredibly diverse. Today we share the top 10 best things to do in the Seychelles so you can plan a trip and experience all the exciting attractions and activities this beautiful city has to offer. Starting with number 10, Île Source d'Argent. With beauty that can hardly be described in words, Île Source d'Argent is a jaw-dropping gem of a beach. Known for leaving visitors speechless because of its exquisitely beautiful qualities, the Île Source d'Argent beach is a true testament to just how gorgeous the Seychelles can be. As well as its dreamy blue water and powdery sand, the hallmark to Île Source d'Argent's fame lies in its one-of-a-kind display of impressive boulders that lie around the perimeter of the sandy bay. At number 9 is the Anse Lazio. Considered Praslun's crown jewel of beaches, crescent-shaped Anse Lazio is paradise at its finest. With a view fit for a postcard, Anse Lazio is truly one of the best beaches in the world. Gaining access to this beach can be a little difficult. Visitors will have to hike a little hill to reach it, but the effort will be worth it. A stunning combination of exceedingly golden sand, glistening azure waters, and picturesque boulders, Ans Lazio's incredible otherworldly beauty can mean it gets busy. Visitors looking to sunbathe in relative peace should head down to Ans Lazio early in the morning. At number 8, Beauvalin. Located on the northwestern coast of the Seychelles main island, Mahé, Beauvalin is one of the country's most popular beaches. What continually draws visitors to Beauvalin is its multifaceted appeal. Combining the classic Seychelles aesthetic with its tall palm trees and soft sands, Beauvalin is also a haven for divers and snorkelers because of its clear blue water and multicolored coral reefs. Visitors will also be treated to a magnificent view of Silhouette Island while they enjoy their time in the Seychelles sun. This famous beach is close to several established hotels and restaurants, making it easily accessible to families. At number 7, Ans Svalbard. The stunning Ans Svalbard beach can be found on the quaint island of Praslin Island and is probably the most popular beach on the island, and certainly the longest. Beach lovers have long loved relaxing and unwinding at Ans Svalbard due to its long stretch of white sand, cool shallow waters, and quiet atmosphere. Families traveling to Ans Svalbard won't find a shortage of shops and restaurants, as many of them fringe the outskirts of the beach. Ans Svalbard is reachable by car, bus, or bicycle from the small port district of Bay Saint-Anne, which sits only 4 kilometers away from Ans Svalbard. At number 6 in our list, Tempio Hindu. It's hard to stay away from the Seychelles' alluring beaches, but the Tempio Hindu is definitely a good excuse to temporarily leave them. Often cited as an icon of the capital, Victoria, this famous Hindu temple has stood proudly for over 240 years. It was built when the first Indians made their way across the archipelago and has been impressing visitors ever since. With its intricate sculptures and stunning array of colors, the Tempio Hindu is one of the Seychelles' few religious sites that rivals the beauty of this island nation's world-class nature. At number 5, Ans Georgette. With a view perfect for a postcard, the idyllic and serene Ans Georgette is possibly Praslin's most breathtakingly scenic beach. Featuring glaringly turquoise waters and seemingly sculpted boulders, Ans Georgette is tranquility embodied. Isolated, exclusive and secluded, Ans Georgette is an ideal place for couples to unwind and soak in the Seychelles' glorious nature. Located close to the opulent 5-star Lemuria resort, Ans Georgette still somehow feels untouched and unspoiled despite its popularity. This is a must-visit if you're passing through Praslin Island. At number 4, Ans Coco Beach. Boasting all the things we've come to expect from the Seychelles, white sand, glistening blue water and verdant greenery, Ans Coco Beach's famous boulders and rock structures are among the most visually striking in all of the Seychelles. Because of this, taking a photograph at Ans Coco Beach will be an easy task, as it is ridiculously stunning from all angles. Ans Coco Beach is often very secluded. In fact, on some days, you might only find 10 or so visitors laying on the beach's fine sand. The beach's surrounds, which includes a collection of abandoned buildings, further amplifies the beach's enchanting atmosphere. At number 3 in our list, Moyen Island. Seclusion and exclusivity are at the heart of a visit to tiny Moyen Island. With an area of only 0.999 square kilometers, visitors to this dot-sized flora and fauna sanctuary will get to witness animals and plants only found in the Seychelles. Moyen Island is a popular day trip for Mahé, not only for its unique collection of greenery, but also for its renowned underwater life, which includes colorful fish, distinctive corals, and rays. Moyan Island's intriguing history can also be uncovered through an organized excursion. If you're looking for a trip filled with little surprises, Moyan Island is a good pick. At number 2, Grand Anse. The inspiration for many postcards and framed photographs, Grand Anse is one of the widest beaches on Mahe Island. Not labeled grand for nothing, this beach is truly stunning. Through an aerial view of the beach, visitors will be able to see the striking juxtaposition of the pristine white sands, perched beside brilliant crashing waves. Swimmers should note that being out in Grand Anse's open waters from April to October can be particularly dangerous, as this is when monsoon season renders the currents to be especially strong. Check out the number 1 places in our list, onsen tendons. Unanimously considered one of the Seychelles' finest beaches, Onsen Tendons is a tropical extravaganza. Boasting crystal clear cerulean water, grand granite rocks, dense greenery, and immaculately soft sand, Onsen Tendons has all the elements to make any beach lover fall in love. The waves also make it a particularly popular spot with surfers. The beach is home to the Banyan Tree Resort, and therefore is largely visited by guests from the hotel. Except for the resort and a small beach bar, there are no other guest houses or restaurants located nearby.
Seychelles. Have you guys ever been or heard of the Seychelles?
Yes.
It's a gorgeous, but I know that was heavy on the beaches because most people like go to the beaches, but Seychelles, there's a lot to do in town as well, but it's known for its pristine beauty. The problem is a lot of people go there and they find out the people who actually live there, the cost of living is very, very high for the locals, but they are living in paradise, you know, because people come in, they're ready to spend, they have money and all that. So some of the things that it drives up the cost of living for the locals. And sometimes they also say that those who come in to study or to work are not given the same, you know, not same treatment as those who are tourists who come to spend money, basically, which I guess is normal. But all that is politics, right? All that is cost of living. On the merits, on the surface alone, the country is beautiful and gorgeous. And people who are from there are very, very proud of their country. Very, very proud of their country. What do you guys think about it?
I mean, it's really nice. Seeing all of that, and again, they are really thriving off
tourism.
Yeah.
I mean, for racially, they consider themselves African, but they also like mix with a little bit of this, a little bit of that. They're like, you know, they're like a melange, a mix of different ethnicities, but they think of themselves as African, and they are.
Even the name of the beaches and
very French, quite French, but they are African, and it's part of Africa. Seychelles, Mauritius, all of that is considered African. Why are you laughing? It's I don't know if you're from that kind of place, would you want to leave and live somewhere else, or would you always want to stay on your island forever?
Probably stay on the island.
Just, you know what, whatever is going on. They took a big hit during COVID because it was all locked down. No tourists were coming in, so economically, I think they've decided to make some rum and things like that to export, so they can do things apart from tourism. So they do export a few things from the island, but they're very, very precious. And there's some beaches you can't go with your shoes. Some beaches you can't go by car. You have to stop and bike. Rent a bike and then bike all the way to the beach. You cannot take a car.
And it's business all the way. So
it all works out for them.
If I live there, I'll just have a little shop that we have a lot of bikes. Just come rent a bike.
Honestly, but if your child says they want to go to Harvard University, what do you do then?
We have Harvard at home.
We have Harvard at home. All right, guys. We're gonna do the sparring with the boys, and then we're gonna play a song, and that'll be the end of part 1. But this one in particular, I'm so interested to hear your opinion, boys. You ready for this?
Yep, let's go.
So, did you hear about the Simi? You know the singer Simi?
Yeah.
Did you hear about the controversy with her?
No.
So she went to a pool party, right? At a swimming pool, wearing a swimsuit. At a swimming pool.
Oh yeah.
Wearing a swimsuit.
Yeah.
At a swimming pool. Once more, wearing a swimsuit at the pool, and people lost their minds. Oh, she's a married woman. How can a married woman wear a swimsuit? How can you do this to your husband? What? You are a married woman. What would your husband say? And I'm talking not 1, 2 people who would be laughed out of town. I'm talking about people, plenty. Until she had to make a statement. She made a sarcastic statement, saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I wore a swimsuit." She was being sarcastic and all of that. But I was stunned because I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't know when you're married, you're not supposed to wear. You're meant to wear your skirt suit to agbada, or I don't know, your kilts to the pool. What? She wore a swimsuit at the pool, not to the bar, not to the restaurant, not to school, to the pool. But because she's married, she's apparently disrespecting her husband by wearing a swimsuit. Please, boys, over to you. Your generation, your culture, over to you. Opinions, please.
Yeah, so according to some Nigerians, she should have worn like a very long gown.
Jalabia.
Yeah, maybe socks as well.
Socks as well.
Gloves, with the gele or hair tie.
That would have made them happy.
Yeah, to show everyone that she's married.
She's married,
while
yes.
She's at the poolside. So,
yes.
Yeah,
And swim in it as well.
yeah.
Sams, what about you? Do you think she did anything wrong?
I don't have a take on that one because I'm not a husband. So
Well, no, as a human, forget about her husband.
As a
human person at the pool, a human wore a swimsuit at the pool.
And she was married.
And she was married, yes.
I wouldn't. It's first things first. Why would you be looking at? Why is that anybody's business, really and truly?
Because she's a public figure. She was singing. They're doing that. That challenge 1, 2, 3, 4 challenge. So she got filmed doing it. They're all playing, dancing. She did the challenge.
People need to mind their business.
I was. You know what I do? I try to take the temperature of what people are thinking to see how ridiculous it is or not. So I think, if it's just 1 or 2 people, they're troublemakers. But I was looking at people's comments and. Some people were really angry, like really, oh, you're doing too much. How can you do this to your husband? Don't you? He's meant to be for your husband. You're meant to keep things. I'm like, she's at the pool. I didn't even know it was a thing. I didn't know it was a thing that married women are not supposed to wear swimsuits.
If it was like a bikini type of thing, fair enough.
How is it fair enough? Samson, how is it fair enough?
It's just fair enough.
How? I just wore a bikini. I have pictures on my Instagram right now of me in a bikini. I've been married for 17 years. Okay, am I supposed to go take them down? I was on holiday at a pool. Am I supposed to take it down? I was at the swimming pool. So I didn't even know it was a thing that married women are meant to be. I understand you're dressing, maybe be nice and but want this context. When you're at the pool, you can wear a bikini or a swimsuit. It doesn't matter if you're married or not, to me and to most of right-thinking people. Byron, do you think there's the bikini thing, if it was a bikini, that would have been more of an issue, or do you think it doesn't matter?
I don't think it matters, and I don't think people should really have an opinion on someone else's marriage. So you don't know what she and her husband have agreed on. So
but it doesn't even matter what they've agreed on.
Yeah,
like someone went to the pool and wore pool appropriate attire. It's like the girls who run, like the Olympics are coming, right?
Yeah.
I love the Olympics. Like I love athletics. I love everything to do with the Olympics. We'll be talking about the Olympics a lot, by the way, in the next few weeks. And so the girls who do the sprinting, right? They wear the little pants and the half top.
Yeah.
Half of them are married. Half of them are mothers. Are you telling me they shouldn't wear their little things to make them more aerodynamic so they can run faster? So if they were married in Nigeria, that means they can't run. What's the difference?
Yeah, I understand. And she dressed. That was the appropriate.
She wore a one piece
clothing for the occasion, for the pool side of the pool. So I don't see why Nigerians are
jobless. They're not serious. Exactly. Because you solved every problem in Nigeria. Now see me wearing a swimsuit.
Yeah.
She was wearing a swimsuit on the streets, walking around randomly. Okay, I get it. But at the poolside, I'm like, come on.
And again, why does it matter?
People are seeing you, and what now? And then what? Are they leaving your house? People who are seeing you. You go home at the end of the day. Anyway.
I'll just be like, is he your wife?
Is he your wife? I honestly, I swear, hand to heart, I didn't know it was a thing. I didn't know it was a thing that when you're married, you're not meant to wear swimsuits anymore. I didn't know that was even a factor in anybody's world. So does that mean their wives, those people who are complaining, their wives cannot do sports? Because it's a very dangerous road when you start going down that road. That means your wives can't do sports. Because sports stars wear really something to make them as aerodynamic as possible.
Yeah.
And they now wear the pants. That's the pants now. Your butt is on the road and everything. So then what? Your wife can't run? What if she's a fantastic runner? What then? She's not allowed?
Yeah, she wear a gown to run.
Once we start going down that road, where are we going? Where are we headed? You know. Anyway, I thought it was ridiculous, but who knows? Maybe some people just feel strongly about these things. Okay, all right. That is the end of part 1 of Baby's African News Magazine. We have more planned for you in part 2, so please stay tuned. I hope you've enjoyed that. And don't forget, you can join us on 0141 530 2787. 0141 530 2787. Call the studio. We'd love to hear from you. And to take us out of part 1 and lead us in part 2, here is Running by Simi and Chike. Running to you. Enjoy.
Anybody will won't fight you. May they come, they already know. I'll be right beside you, like the wall of Jericho. They don't know, they don't know, they don't know what's going on. Monagiso, 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 my baby boo. I'll be a soldier for you. I'm getting better in Kung Fu. You should know I got you, and you don't need to guide me too. I'll be right beside you in anything that you do. If you ever need saving, I will be running to you, running, running, running to you. I'll be running to you, running, running, running to you. Anywhere that you go to, running, running, running to you. I'll be running to you, running, running, running to you. Anywhere that you go to.
When I'm looking for trouble, it's cause I know that I got you. Wanting more best everybody, and it's because of your Kung Fu. And anytime that I'm out of control, you hold me down. You never let go. Munagiso, 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 my baby boo. See all the battles you'll be fighting, and I'll be right there with you. I may be small but I'm mighty, and I go running for you. And anybody waves I be, yeah, no be you pull it, I be alright. And if I ever need saving, I'll be running to you.
Running, running, running to you. I'll be running to you, running, running, running to you. Anywhere that you go to, running, running, running to you. I'll be running to you, running, running, running to you.
You go there for
anywhere that you go to. You don't need to worry, anything you want.
Sun up to sundown, love you no go round down.
Anytime you come to me, baby, I go answer.
Any other brother, baby, you make them run away.
And if you want me coming to you, I go come to you.
Oh, you wanna see me, baby, don't tease me.
Tell me what you want, baby, say I'm not in my heart.
Are you, baby?
If they wanna be the Judas, if they wanna be the Pharaoh, me I cannot lay low, yo. Me I cannot do that.
Isn't that the prettiest song in the whole world? Well, Simi is such a cool singer and Chike is such a cool singer, and they're both out cooling each other in that song. Hello everybody, this is BB and you're back to part 2 of BB's African News Magazine show on Jambo Radio, the show that focuses on everything positive coming from the Scottish African diaspora and the African continent at large. We have had a fantastic first half, but it's now time for the second half. And this will really go deep into all our spotlights and everything going on in the diaspora. So now it's time for this week's African Spotlight. And it's so special this week because every week we focus on a good news story or an interesting story from the diaspora or from the continent on someone doing amazing things in the community. And this week we're shining our spotlight on a couple from Kano City. Kano is a city in the north of Nigeria, and they're gaining respect and admiration for their 50-year marriage in a divorce-prone town. Let's hear about it. Okay, so a couple who live in Nigeria's quote-unquote divorce capital are being hailed for their long marriage, having recently celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary. Mahmoud Kabir Yakasai and Rabiatu Tahir spoke about secrets of this happiness and about why so many marriages fail in the northern city of Kano in a video that has generated much comment. Mr. Yakasai puts it down to his wife's generous nature. She's very unselfish and she overlooks a lot which has contributed to the success of our marriage. Ms. Tahir is in her late 60s, and together the couple have 13 children. She praised her husband's ability to remain calm in the face of difficulties all families confront. He's a very patient man, and I feel that was also key to our success, she said. The pair say they love and respect each other, and they enjoy each other's company. Now, Hassana Mahmoud, a fellow Kano resident, commented on the marriage and called it a revelation. The 39-year-old divorcee has been married 5 times and is impressed with this milestone. She's impressed by the couple and their evident contentment. She says, in all my marriages, I've only spent 4 years with a spouse. So to see them on social media celebrating this was very, very refreshing. My husbands were all nice and caring during the courtship, but changed after the wedding, said the mother of 4. I feel bad whenever I hear people call Kano the divorce capital of Nigeria, and I hope things will change. Kano gained the epithet after divorce rates began to rise in the 1990s, and he has not been able to shake off the unwanted label. Hundreds of marriages collapse each month in Nigeria's most populous state, whose capital, Kano City, is the commercial hub of the north. In 2022 research done by the BBC in collaboration with the local government, it was disclosed that 32% of marriages in Kano State only last between 3 and 6 months. It also revealed that some people aged between 20 and 25 had already gone through 3 marriages. The scale of separation is a concern, especially for the Hizbah, a Kano state-funded Islamic agency that deals with moral issues and enforces Sharia or Islamic law in the state. It also has a counseling service mainly to help struggling married couples. Long lines of women can often be seen queuing outside its offices to complain about their ex-husbands who are not helping with maintenance for the children, etc. And people tend to marry young in Kano, often before the legal age of 18. Others feel Islam's easy method of divorce might be a factor, as husbands can simply tell their wives, I divorce you, or write it down on a piece of paper and it's over. Wives can do that as well. Nowadays, a message can be sent on social media, and that's enough to end the marriage. Aminu Daura works for the Hizbah to address the high divorce rate. And one of the solutions is to offer a second chance to people and better prepare them for married life. The agency organizes mass marriages known as Auren Zawarawa, mainly for divorcees, acting as a matchmaker on a grand scale. The hundreds of newlywed couples who are treated to a big wedding ceremony are also offered a small sum to help them set up a business and other household goods. But Hadiza Ado, founder of the non-governmental agency Women and Children Initiative, says the number of divorces continues to rise. The practice of using matchmakers is common in Kano because in a Muslim society, single people do not mix, so it's difficult to meet potential partners. When people are matched together, they're often married hardly knowing each other. In fact, our original couple who have celebrated 50 years, Mohammed and Rabiatu, were introduced as youngsters by an older woman in their neighborhood. They didn't tie the knot after they were introduced for another 12 years, giving them ample time to get to know one another. And a well-known Kano matchmaker said, in the past, we didn't have this many divorces as our parents were married for decades. It was in recent times that people started abusing the process of divorce for their selfish interests. Love is also key because when you love each other genuinely, you tend to stay together. My advice to people getting married is not to go into it for selfish reasons, but go into it with genuine intentions. People wanting to get married have to be patient with each other. If one partner is angry, the other should be calm. Okay. There's a lot to unpack here. First of all, we're happy for our couple. That's fantastic. 50 years, not just 50 years in any circumstance is fantastic, but 50 years in a city like Kano, apparently that's a miracle.
Yeah, so if you want to like you want your marriage to last, you better leave Kano.
Leave Kano. Get out of Kano. Get out of Kano. But it blew my mind when I was researching the story, because saying most people between the age of 20 to 25 have been through 3 marriages already. Between 20 to 25 have been through 3 marriages. That's nuts.
It's a common thing in northern part of Nigeria. I think.
Didn't know that. I knew you could say I divorced you 3 times. I divorced you. I knew that, but I always thought that was kind of like, yes, you can do that, but nobody does that. That's what I always thought.
Yeah, I didn't know about the part of the divorce, but I knew about the other side of the marriage. I mean,
where they separate easily.
No, I mean where they get married easily and mass weddings
and all that.
Yeah.
No, so in Islam, if you say I divorce you, please correct me if I'm wrong, listeners. I divorce you 3 times. So, but it's meant to be taken very, very seriously under serious circumstances, and then you go, I divorce you, I divorce you, I divorce you, and that's it, done. But apparently in today's modern world, people are abusing the system. You know, any small thing, I divorce you, I divorce you, I divorce you. Or people are texting, I divorce you, I divorce you, I divorce you. You can even write it down on a piece of paper 3 times. But it has to be 3 times, 1, 2, 3. And then it's done. So if you can catch the person and stop them by the second one, maybe you have a chance.
Don't say.
Really? I'm sorry. No, but the statistics are absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
The fact that people who, what was the first statistic? People who have been between 2021 have married 3 times on average.
Yeah.
And then also there was 32% of marriages only last between 3 and 6 months. What is going on in Kano? What is going on? Anyway, this is. I'm happy they found common ground, but I think the people who were like with the Hisbah and the NGOs were saying most people get married quickly and then they don't know each other. But that's the nature of arranged marriages. That's happened a lot over time, and these marriages tend to last a long time. So why is Kano different? It's not that whole thing of they don't know each other. And most arranged marriages, the idea is you get married and then you learn about the person as you go, and you fall in love as you go. And it does seem to work. I don't know what happens, how it works, but somehow it seems to work. I think on average, arranged marriages are no less likely to fail than, love matches. But in Kano, apparently something is off in that particular city.
Yeah, I think the Muslims have like a very low level of tolerance for people. So, so you didn't do this? Okay, you know what? Yeah,
bye. And apparently it's women as well. So like the other lady had been married 5 times.
Yeah.
5 times, and she goes, all my husbands what? what all my husbands were nice during the courtship, and then I've never stayed more than 4 years with a spouse. She's married 5 times. She's never stayed more than 4 years with any of her spouses.
That's
dire.
Yeah.
And somehow Mahmoud and Rabia too are just there like, hey, look at us, we're good.
Just they're watching.
50 years. Well, congratulations to them, and hopefully they shine a beacon to other couples in Kano that look, stop the nonsense. Look at Mahmoud and Rabia too. You can do it too.
Yeah.
Stop it. All right. Opinion questions for today. It has always been easier to divorce under Islamic law, but why does it seem to be on such a rise in the modern day? Okay. Once again, it has always been easier to divorce under Islamic law, but people didn't really take that opportunity in the past. It wasn't something it was something they took very seriously. So why does it seem to be on such a rise in the modern day? And the second question is it the same across other religions in Africa? Because divorce was quite low in Africa for a very long time, and it seems in recent days it's on the rise in Africa, on par with the rest of the world. So does divorce seem to be on the rise across all of the religions in Africa? What do you guys think? Am I talking rubbish? Is it just speculation? Is it anecdotal? Is there evidence to it? What do you guys think? Call us on 0141 530 2787. Number again, 0141 530 2787. Add your opinion, add your 2 cents. I'll just take a quick questions from you guys, one of each. So Baron, why do you think it's on such a rise in the modern day? Yes, the option has always been there. Always been there. But why do you think there's such a rise in the modern day? People need to take the opportunity in the past.
I mean, rising
divorce rates in Islam. So the option to divorce has always been easy in Islam, but people didn't really go for it. You know, they stayed longer in their marriages. But now in the modern day, it seems like people are really abusing that particular option.
Yeah, so first, like we said before, low level of tolerance, and then people these days feel like they have more options because of social media and all of that. So
even people in the north with all the, you know, what's going on.
Yeah, probably.
Really? Yeah. Options?
Yeah. So
then why did they go for the mass marriages so they can get second marriages and third marriages if they have?
I mean, it's like
things are tough in the north. Though.
Yeah, things are tough, and then what do we expect when they are leaders? You know, those are supposed to be, you know, building infrastructure. They're organizing mass marriages. So they're just, you know what? Oh, let me go get a new wife.
Oof. Right. Do you think it's the same across all religions? Do you think it's only Islam that divorce is on the rise, or do you think it's the same across in Africa that divorce is on the rise in general?
I can't say because
I think what women used to take before, they don't take anymore.
Yeah,
in Africa. Yeah, because a lot of African women, our main thing was keep your home, keep your marriage.
Yeah.
No matter what, if you're dying, knife at your neck, you kill it. Keep your marriage. And now the younger girls are like, I'm sorry.
so before it was a very shameful thing for you to leave your husband's house and then go back to your parents' house. Now people are like, yeah, whatever. And again,
and also I think that, like you said, tolerance, right?
Yeah.
Nigerian women, I can speak for Nigerian because I'm a Nigerian woman, and other African women. I can't really speak for other African women. I don't know the culture, but I know in Nigeria you're socialized to keep your home no matter what. The only time you divorce is when things are like the worst of the worst, or the man initiates the divorce, or you know. But now women are like younger women, middle-aged women in Nigeria are not taking that anymore. If you hit me once, I'm out. If you do this, I'm out. If you do that, I'm out. If you treat me badly, I'm out. You know?
Yeah.
Unlike before, you have 10 outside babies on her, beat her, everything, and she still stays. You know? Women are not taking that anymore. So I think a lot of divorce is actually initiated by women these days.
Yeah.
You know? And men are losing their minds. Nigerian men are losing their minds. You should see the discourse online. It is a mess.
I would like to see it. Can you point me to where it is?
It is a mess. We're being blamed for everything. I find we're meant to stay there and die. You understand? Yeah. That was the deal. The deal was we're meant to stay in these marriages and die. And now we said we don't want to die anymore. And men are like, how dare you?
It's for better, for worse.
That was not the deal. I can do whatever I want. You take it. Be happy. You're Mrs. Okay? Mrs. That's what you got from this deal. I got everything else. No, Nigerian men are like, no. Samson, you're young. I'm not going to ask you about marriage or anything like that, divorce or anything like that. Do you have your opinions on things like that?
Go on. Let's have it.
Not really. I mean, kind of.
Okay, tell me.
It's all Bible references. So.
I knew you were going to come with the religious side of things. I knew it. And if you say anything about submissive women, I will throw my shoe at you.
I wasn't going there. But,
okay.
Actually, I have nothing to say. Because.
For me, asking you would be like, do you think the new way of doing things where people are more equal, where women are taking less bad treatment from their husbands, because divorce is an option now, right? Like Baron said, it was shameful in Africa before to get divorced. Now there's less of a stigma attached to it, so women are opting, if you treat me badly, I'm leaving, as opposed to our mothers, our grandmothers, where, you know, no matter how badly they were treated or anything, you know, they always stayed, you know, and endured. So do you think the women taking the option of leaving, having their own money, having their own, being able to take care of themselves to a certain extent without the husband, having that option of having their own money and being able to leave in bad treatment, do you think that's a bad thing?
No, I don't. No, I don't think that's a bad thing, because the Bible does say that every husband should treat their wife how Jesus would treat the church. So if you're not treating your wife in that kind of manner, it would make sense if she left, because that's not how Jesus would treat that woman at the time, or how Jesus would treat the church in general. So her leaving or saying a divorce, understandable if he's abusing her, all of that, it will make sense if she left, because at that point, if she stays and is like, oh, that's what my mother would do, she's not doing herself any good, because she's literally saying, yeah, you could just beat me, I'm married to you.
That's great to hear. I'm very happy to hear that from a young person like you. That gives me hope for the future. At some point, even though it's like, oh, for better, for worse, that's not the kind of worse that we. But we have this idea that, okay, so what happens in the traditional side? Baron, I don't know if you agree with this or not. So it's good, you start out and then things go bad, right? Then you weather it, and now somewhere around your 50s and 60s, suddenly, oh, she's my sunshine, she's my jewel. Without her, maybe you were beating her for 30 years, right? But she stayed. But then when you guys get to your 60s and then nobody's checking for the guy anymore, suddenly his wife is like, she's my rock. She did and then you get your flowers towards the end. When you've had a terrible, terrible experience, but then towards the end, when you're older, you get your flowers. That was the model, wasn't it, Baron?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, but women are like, nah, no, I don't want that anymore. I want good now or I'm out.
Yeah, so they don't want to be involved anymore. I mean, then you'll be like, wow, my ego, you bow.
Yes. Later on, after.
Yeah, after. Yeah, so now they're like, yeah, let me be that now.
The now, yes. Thank you very much. Now that nobody is helping you, I'm here. And then men can complain. In fact, we'll talk about men complain another day. Men can complain. Please. Right, let's move on. While we wait for your call, if you want to join the conversation, if you think I'm totally wrong, like I'm talking absolute rubbish, call me and tell me. I'm here. I'm happy to hear it. I'm happy to talk with you about it. So 01415302787. Moving on, here is beautiful Ingeke Balunge by Mafikizolo from South Africa. Enjoy, guys.
Sebatsingeni masixabene kodwa masithandana bangenashi Sebatsingeni masixabene kodwa masithandana bangenashi
right, guys, we're back to PBS African News Magazine show on Jambo Radio. We're just discussing our African spotlight on the couple that has enjoyed a marriage of 50 years in divorce-prone Kano, which is the divorce capital of Nigeria. And the questions for the day were, it's always been easier to divorce under Islamic law, but why does it seem to be on such a rise in the modern day? And the second question was, is divorce also the same, the rise of divorce also the same across other religions in Africa? We had a very spirited conversation about it with the boys here, but we'd love to hear your opinions as well. So don't forget, you can always call us on 0141-530-2787 or write on our social media and we'll read it out live on the show. While we wait for you to come contact us, here are some announcements. So, People Plus working for families. Do you live in North Lanarkshire? Are you looking for a job? Are you looking for funding and support to start your own business? If you're a parent and live in North Lanarkshire, that is towns like Cumbernauld, Shotts, Wishaw, Bells Hill, Kilsyth, Motherwell, Airdrie, Gatcosh, Coatbridge, Muirhead, Steps, Croy, Moodiesburn, etc., then People Plus can help you. People Plus have the Working for Families program in North Lanarkshire, and at People Plus they give some brilliant employment and self-employment opportunities for parents who live in North Lanarkshire. Some of the things they can do for you. On the Working for Families program, they support families who live in North Lanarkshire by preparing you for employment or assisting you in starting a successful self-employment. They have various accredited training courses that they can fund and put you through, and that will measurably help you in your employment journeys. And if you've been toying with the idea of starting a business, they're happy to help you start up. If you already have a small business, you would like some more help and support or funding, they can also support you, and they're flexible and work around all your schedules as a parent. So if you would like a full or part-time job, training, placement, etc., they can support you, prepare you, help with CV needs, interview prep, training needs, and other job opportunities. To be eligible to join this program, all you have to do is live in North Lanarkshire and be a parent. So you must live in North Lanarkshire and you must be a parent. So contact scotland.ef@peopleplus.co.uk. Once again, that's scotland.ef@peopleplus.co.uk, and the number to call or message is 07-814-061-565. That's 07-814-061-565. Take the opportunity if you can and if you need it. Okay, now it's time for our Have You Heard segment, okay? And every week we share an interesting development, story, or event from diaspora. You guys are going to love this one. So this week we're asking, have you heard that Rwanda is not planning to reimburse the UK the $300 million deportation deal fee that it's been paid so far after the plan was scrapped by the new UK PM? Have you guys heard that?
Yep.
Oh, you heard? Oh, that's not news. Samson, have you heard that?
Heard what?
What I said. Right, listen now. Listen. All right, so Rwanda has said it's not required to refund the UK after a multi-million-pound migrant deal between the two countries was scrapped. Upon his election, the new UK Prime Minister and Labour Party leader, Keir Starmer, announced that the plan to deport some asylum seekers to Rwanda was dead and buried. The scheme was forged by the previous Conservative government, which since revealing the plan in 2022 has paid Rwanda £240 million. That's about $310 million. Legal challenges meant the scheme never took off, and the UK expressed hope that some money from the deal could be recouped. However, a spokesperson for Rwanda's government told the country's state television, let's be clear about this. Paying back the money was never part of the agreement. Alain Mukarlinda said the agreement did not stipulate money should be refunded, and the UK had approached Rwanda and requested a partnership, which was discussed extensively. In January, after 21 months of the scheme being stalled, Rwandan President Kagame suggested some money could be returned if no asylum seekers were sent to the country. But the Rwandan government later specified that there was no obligation to refund the UK. The previous government said the scheme was aimed at deterring people from crossing the English Channel in small boats. Illegal migration is one of the major challenges facing the UK government. So far this year, more than 13,000 people have crossed the channel in small boats. Denmark as well has been mulling a similar deal with Rwanda, but it put the discussion on hold in January last year. It said it wanted a more unified approach within Europe to tackle illegal migration. They sure shot themselves in the foot with that one, didn't they?
Interesting. Interesting.
So do you think they should, yes, there's no obligation to do it in the deal, right? But do you think they should maybe return some just out of good faith?
Would be just out of kindness for them to...
Good faith.
Yeah, return some, not even all, because, as the money goes in, they've made plans for the money. So
the money has gone. What are you saying?
Money
has gone. The money don't leave town since. Wait.
As the money entered the account, they've already settled
They've spent it. They built houses. Do you know they built houses for the immigrants?
Yeah.
They built houses, flats, apartments. They hired construction companies to build. They've paid those ones, caterers, all sorts of people were hired.
Yeah.
They've paid them now. And they were waiting for for their guests to arrive.
So and then you went back on the deal. It's not their fault. It's you.
Now you want the money back. The money. There's no money.
There's no money.
There's no money.
There's no money.
So I don't know. What do you get, Samson? What do you think? Do you think Rwanda should return some of the money?
I agree with what Mr. Barron said.
Which was?
The money is gone. OT law.
Money is gone into contract. And
I like that. The money, that should be the tagline. # the money has gone. But let's be serious. Let's be serious. Let's take it on a more serious note now. Right. So the original contract and agreement was they would send immigrants. They'll send this money. They'll construct certain villages and towns and apartments for the people coming in and the things they're going to do, the work and all that. So all that was hired and done. But there must be some leeway somewhere to return some of the money. But then no asylum seekers were sent at all, and the deal has now been scrapped. So on a more serious note, do you think, yes, they're not obligated to return it, but do you think out of good faith they should return some to the government?
Well, if they... Surely or hopefully they have records of how much they've spent, and they can say, okay, so we spent out of the 200 plus million, this is what we spent, and this is what we had left for people that will eventually come in to support them before they start working. You can refund this. Aside from that, I don't see.
So saying they have this extra money that has not been spent yet. So the one that's been spent, forget it.
That's it.
The one that's not been spent that they're keeping to arrange other things for when the migrants start coming and all of that.
Yeah.
Do you think they're obligated? Not obligated, obviously they're not obligated, but do you think out of good faith they should, or do you think it's something that was a done deal, it's been paid, and they can use that money to, they really spent money preparing. Now they need to adjust, within the country. That money should be used for that adjustment, saying that these people are not coming, we need to do other things.
Well, you could say just to keep diplomatic ties.
Yes, relations.
They can refund some. On the other hand, they should also have an agreement, because I'm surely they'll lose something on their own end. So both sides could be compensated. Let's say, so there's no loser.
Absolutely correct. All right. I mean, my opinion, I think they should do whatever they want. Because they approach them.
Yep.
Rwanda is a tiny country. I don't know why we thought you could send so many people there. It's not a big land mass wise. There are other countries around the world that have more mass, more space, where you can build. I don't even know if I completely disagree with the idea of busing out or flying out migrants. If your country, because we're living on an island, the UK is an island, right? Yeah. We have only so much space. So, and people keep coming. It's a big deal. I understand that. If they come illegally, you can't account for numbers, it might be unsafe. I understand that. But even if you wanted to do such an agreement, such a deal of flying out your migrants, why Rwanda? It's not a country that has, first of all, it's a very homogeneous country, so they're all very tight in their relations. It's not very multicultural, let me put it that way. They're very tight with each other, they're very into themselves. So people going there might have a hard time even socially. That's number one. Number two, land mass. Where's the land? Where's the space for all these people, it didn't make sense to me from that angle. Not that I never felt Rwanda was an unsafe country or a bad place. I think it's a great place, you know. But it's just where's the space? There's no space for all the people you're planning on sending there. But they just took it. They took the agreement because it's a lot of money. Of course, if a country is throwing hundreds of millions of pounds at you, of course you'll take the money, take the deal. It's business, right?
Yeah.
But surely the UK government could have found another country that would make it work. That could have worked for that. Forget about the optics of busting people out of your country. That's not really cool. Anyway, Rwanda, do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. Anyway, this is Rwandan artist, the beautiful Butera Knowles, and this is Ingisha. Enjoy, guys.
Nyigisha kuba umuntu nyagasani mu bumuntu mu mutima mu bupfura simbe gito ngo ubuto bunshuke bimviremo gutana ngira umuntu ari kumwe n'umuntu nyigisha gutanga ibitekerezo byanjye unyigishe no kubaha iby'abandi nyigisha kuba inshuti nziza ariko unyigishe no kutivanga mu by'abandi ngira umuntu ari kumwe n'umuntu nyigisha gushima nta buryarya unyigishe kugaya ntakomeretsa nyigisha kwishimira intsinzi y'abandi nyigisha kubigiraho undinde ishyari ngira umuntu ari kumwe n'umuntu kuvuga nziga unyigishe no kuganira unyigishe kwirinda ibiganiro by'ubupfapfa ariko unyigishe no kujya impaka zubaka ngira umuntu ari kumwe n'umuntu unyigisha kubaha buri wese ariko unyigishe no kutigira agatebo unyigisha kugira impuhwe ariko kandi undinde zimwe zitiza urugi ngira umuntu ari kumwe n'umuntu unyigisha gukira no gukinga ariko unyigishe gukingura umutima unyigisha kugira amakenga ariko unyigishe no kugira icyizere ngira umuntu ari kumwe n'umuntu unyigisha gukora ntategereje gushimwa kandi nishimwa sinzishyire hejuru unyigisha kugira neza nubwo ineza yanjye ntayisanga imbere ngira umuntu ari kumwe n'umuntu nyigisha kubana n'abantu neza nzasige inkuru nziza imusozi nyigisha kubana n'abantu neza maze nzasige inkuru nziza imusozi ngira umuntu ari kumwe n'umuntu ngira umuntu
ocean. On your skin like a lotion. Loving you is my devotion. Give you girl full potion. Oh my beautiful addiction. With a sweet vibration. The two of we is a vision. Anytime I slip your name I dimension. So tell me girl where you there. Just me I go let the fire blaze. Anytime you want your ways. Watch out the man them they grace. Hey man, tell me where you there. Girl I've been loving you for days. Anytime you wind up your waist. All I demand them the grace. Baby I dey colo for your love. Colo colo. I dey mad for your love. Baby I dey colo colo. I dey colo for your love. Colo colo. I dey mad for your love. Baby I dey colo colo. Your love, no no. Your love, no no. Your love, baby I dey colo colo. Your love, no no. No no. Your love, your love. Baby I dey colo colo. Come give it to me, baby. Platinums. Nini Sasa. Me, I'm giving thanks to the creator. Your mama born you well better. You ma kame funga utoneta. Kinavyo pepe kimweta. Oh na na. Body sa nyonga makiliti. Odi na gonga za mendichi. Usinichomeka kidonda na spiriti. Mimi yonge taumia. Baby, you got me falling in love. Lisa, my teaser. Hope you might be reason your body give me fever. I done the shiver when you hold me tight. One in my baby, I dey colo for your love. Colo colo. I dey mad for your love. Baby, I dey colo colo. I dey colo for your love. Colo colo. I dey mad for your love. Baby, I dey colo colo. Your love, no no. Your love, no no. Your love, baby, I dey colo colo. Your love, no no. Your love, your love. Come give it to me, baby. Colo, colo. Baby, I dey colo, colo.
Hi guys, we're back to BBC African News Magazine show on Jambo Radio, and now, Byron, are you ready? It's time for our favorite part of the show, and that is a moment in African history. I like it. Right, today is really, really special, okay? Because today we're going to be learning about and celebrating the history one of the most incredible African tribes, and that is the Zulu tribe. Once again, Byron, please. Brilliant. Those are no Zulu drums, by the way. Right, the Zulu tribe is a very important tribe in history, and we're going to be collaborating with our friends at CU in History. We're going to go back in time. We're going to talk about the Zulu people, how they came to be, who their heroes were, how their skirmishes with the British, and how they basically changed history for that part of the world. And they showed the British that, the British were the most elite army at that time in the world, and they gave them a run for their money, proper run for their money. So we're going to talk about, of course, Shaka Zulu will be involved in this discussion, but it's basically a look at the Zulu people, who they are and who they are today in South Africa as well. Super, super, super amazing delve into history. So let's do that. Everybody relax, take a deep breath, get ready to learn, to know, to see, and here we are. So these are our friends that see you in history. I'm going to talk about the Zulu tribe. Let's go.
Located in what is today the South African province of KwaZulu-Natal, the Zulu kingdom was once a mighty African entity that distinguished itself by its swift ascent and its contributions to African culture and history. Guided by the charismatic and military-savvy King Shaka, the Zulus excelled in innovative warfare and solid organization against European invaders. The Zulu kingdom's roots lie deep in complex interactions and migrations of multiple tribes and clans in the southern African region. Preceding the rise of the Zulu Kingdom, the region known today as KwaZulu-Natal was populated by several small clans and groups. The Nguni, an ethno-linguistic group to which the Zulus belong, migrated to this region from more northernly areas in southern Africa over several centuries. Originally, the Zulu clan was not especially powerful or distinct from the different Nguni groups. In fact, they were a small clique, led by a chief named Senzangakona. Shaka, who would become the most famous Zulu leader, was born in around 1787. He was the son of Senzangakona and Nandi, a woman from the Lungeni clan. Owing to having been born out of wedlock, Shaka and his mother were ostracized and endured a great deal of hardship during his childhood, having to live in several clans. Shaka and his mother endured rejection and adversity in several places during their youth, before finding shelter with Chief Dingiswayo of the Mthithwa clan. Under Dingiswayo's guidance, Shaka developed into an important warrior. When Senzangakona died, Shaka, aided by Dingiswayo, returned and took over the leadership of the Zulu clan, cementing his power and launching a series of military reforms that would transform the clan into a leading force. Shaka started using new combat techniques and weapons such as the Ikalwa, a short spear with a broad blade, better adapted to hand-to-hand combat than traditional throwing spears. He also introduced the large shield and revamped the tactical combat formation known as the ox horns, where experienced warriors made up the core of the formation, while younger warriors shaped the side horns to surround and flank the enemy using a pincer formation. Shaka consolidated power and spread the clan's territory, either incorporating or displacing other groups in the region. Through his innovations and territorial sprawl, the Zulu clan became the Zulu Kingdom, one of Southern Africa's largest and most powerful nations during the first half of the 19th century. The expansion and displacement led to the phenomenon known as Mifekane, meaning the crushing, leading to several wars and migrations involving multiple ethnic groups in southern Africa. But Shaka was murdered in 1828 by his half-brothers Dingane in Malangana. Dingane seized the throne after Shaka's assassination. His reign was marred by substantial turmoil. He attempted to entrench his power by wiping out would-be rivals and established his new capital at Umgungundlovu. During Dingane's reign, the Zulus found themselves at odds with the Voortrekkers, Dutch-speaking settlers who traveled in wagon trains from the Cape Colony to the southern African interior, starting in 1836, looking to live beyond the Cape's British colonial administration. The well-known Battle of Blood River in 1838 saw a small group of Voortrekkers fend off an attack by a much larger Zulu army. The Voortrekkers' triumph was a turning point, and Dingane was forced to retreat. Following internal and external disputes in 1840, Mpande, Shaka's other half-brother, defied Dingane and, supported by the Voortrekkers, overthrew him. Mpande reigned for almost 30 years, and this was a time of relative peace and stabilization for the Zulu kingdom. Ketshweo, Mpande's son, took over as king in 1872. His tenure was best characterized by his confrontation with the British Empire. The Zulu and the British entered into conflict in the Anglo-Zulu War in 1879. This war was particularly noteworthy both for the Zulus' astounding military performance, which meant they temporarily defeated one of the world's most powerful colonial powers, and for the British resolve to annex and control the Zulu region as part of their South African colonial strategy. The British Empire was bent on consolidating the many independent states and republics established by the Dutch-speaking inhabitants of the Cape Colony, along with other native nations under its control. This resulted in a confederation policy that jeopardized the Zulu kingdom's sovereignty. On January 22, 1879, the Battle of Isandlwana produced one of the greatest losses suffered by the British during the colonial wars, as a Zulu army commanded by Ntsingweo Koja decisively defeated the British forces. Employing bullhorn tactics, the Zulu army encircled and overwhelmed the British contingent, inflicting heavy casualties on the European invaders. In the wake of their defeat at Isandlwana, a small British detachment managed to successfully defend the Rorke's Drift mission against a large Zulu force. Their efforts were outstanding, and 11 Victory Crosses were awarded to the defenders. The British bolstered their troops after these initial clashes and conducted a series of incursions into Zulu territory. On July 4, 1879, the Battle of Ulundi became the final and defining engagement of the Anglo-Zulu War. Following the shock British defeat at the Battle of Isandlwana and the successful defense of Rorke's Drift, the British drew significant reinforcements from Britain and its colonies. They were adamant to complete the campaign against the Zulus and cement their control over the territory. Under Frederick Thesiger, 2nd Baron Chelmsford, the British Army drew close to Ulundi, the Zulu royal capital. He led a force of around 5,000 men, including infantry, cavalry, and artillery. Against them was the Zulu army, consisting of around 15,000 warriors, under the command of King Cetshwayo. The British, realizing the Zulus' ability to quickly encircle their forces, established a large defensive square with infantry and artillery. The cavalry was stationed outside the square to provide a rapid attack unit. The Zulu warriors boldly advanced against the British square. Nevertheless, coming under intense fire from the infantry and artillery, they took significant casualties. The British cavalry followed up with a string of attacks against the Zulu lines, adding to the losses. The battle ultimately resulted in a decisive British victory. The Zulu army was scattered, and Ulundi was burned to the ground. This remarkable rout effectively ended the organized Zulu resistance against the British. The Ulundi defeat spelled the end of the Zulu kingdom as an independent entity. King Cetshwayo was captured in August 1879 and went into exile. The Zulu kingdom was split into 13 smaller monarchies to curb the power of the Zulu nation and hinder any further rebellions. But this only resulted in more regional upheaval. The Zulu kingdom was finally annexed to the British colony of Natal in 1887. The last major Zulu uprising against British rule was the 1906 Bambatha Rebellion. While the riot was suppressed, it remains a symbol of Zulu resistance against colonial rule. The Zulu kingdom made its mark on southern African history. The Zulus are now South Africa's largest ethnic group, and KwaZulu-Natal is still a vital region. The Zulu kingdom's history is both one of resistance against colonization and a prime example of the complexity and dynamics of pre-colonial African states.
There's a reason why people kept rebelling and resisting and rebelling and resisting and rebelling. There's a reason why. You were in their homeland. Imagine having to resist in your own homeland, not somebody else's homeland, or in your homeland, and then you're treated like you're the crazy person. That happened in Kenya, happened all over Africa, where the colonized will rise up against the colonizers, and then they were treated like they were crazy for fighting back.
Yeah. And again, the British in the 1800s, they're everywhere you go. So
yeah, and the thing is, like, if you watch some of the movies and the way it's seen from the British side of things, they make it seem as if, oh my God, they killed us, they attacked, you're in their land, colonizing them, and they're fighting you, and that's like, oh my God, how could they do that, And they didn't even have guns. You guys had all the guns. They had spears, and they managed to still, succeed sometimes. But anyway, they're very, very brilliant tribe, and they're very strong in South Africa. In fact, some Zulus have some kind of superiority complex right now in modern day South Africa. One of my favorite movies, South African movies, the boy marries a girl from, I think she was Swana or something. And at the dinner, the mother goes, I want to congratulate the couple and my new daughter-in-law. You may not be Zulu, but at least, I'm like, oh my God. Shaka said, you may not be Zulu. But you tried. Yeah. They're so they're over proud of themselves, But I guess that we have some tribes in Nigeria that can mirror that kind of, behavior, or, think they're better than other people. But they are.
Yeah, don't say anything.
Yeah, but they are a very important tribe in South Africa. And of all the tribes, they have the Xhosa, they have the Swana, they have the, not the Shona from Zimbabwe. All the other tribes, though, they are the ones that we hear throughout history. We really hear about them. and what they've done, and of course everybody knows the story of Shaka Zulu and all of that. So it's pretty impressive. I love learning more, and there's so many battles within them and the British and them and the Dutch and all of that. But the battle
Beaming
of
with breathtakingly white
that's
beaches,
the big one.
lush
That's
green,
the one which they actually succeeded. And it shocked the world. It shocked the British. They couldn't believe it, and they came with all the reinforcements. And for the next one, they're like, "Nope, this is never happening again." And they did manage to crush them for quite a while. But history is history, and we know where everything stands. Right. I hope you guys enjoy that, listeners. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something new about the Zulu tribe, and I hope you enjoyed our moment in African history. We'll bring you more historical stories forever. While we do the show, we'll always, have some African history to share with you. Right, we don't have a lot of time left, so I don't think we have time for our language quiz today. We'll have time for the proverbs, unless you guys want to skip the proverbs and do the language quiz.
What do you think? Proverbs or language?
Let's go for language.
Okay. All right. So, Samson, you're coming up with the sentence today, and then we're all going to translate to our languages, okay? So what's the English sentence? Come on, time is money.
Let me try and think of something. Did I say this last? Have you eaten?
Yes, you did.
I said that?
Okay, I'm removing you from the equation. Baron, you come up with something.
You come up with something. I'm not too good, so.
Okay,
have you eaten?
Let's say I'm going to my friend's house, or I plan to go there later.
I plan to go there later.
Yes, so
okay. What's the sentence?
So, okay, let's say I'm calling him to ask if he's at home, and if
Baron, just give me one sentence. This is a concept. You're giving us a concept here.
Okay.
That's the one that's easy for me.
Are you home?
Are you home?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so simple.
So simple, yeah.
Okay.
Are you saying?
All right. So, what's your language, Baron? Once again,
my language is
Ibibio.
Mobago Fok.
Mobaku
Fok. So home is Ufok.
Yes. Mobaku Fok. Okay. And then my language. So my first language is Kalabari. So it's Iwari Emi. Iwari Emi. Wari is house. Yeah. Wari is house. So Iwari Emi. And then Yoruba will be Shwanli. And what about you, Samson?
Urowa.
What's that?
Okay, what's house or home?
Owa.
Yeah. Urowa.
Are you home?
Are you home? I like that. So Ubanufok.
Yeah.
Mobaku Fok.
Okay. I like that. All right. One more sentence.
Then you can ask him if he has food at home. So Didia Moba. Or Amatem Didia. Did you cook?
Amatem Didia.
Did you cook food?
Okay.
Amatem
Did you cook?
Didia.
Okay. So in Calabari you say Fiemi. Fie is food. Fie, the thing you eat. Fie. So Fiemi. Is there food? Shonjewa. That's Yoruba. Shonjewa. Oh yeah, what about you?
I don't know what food means in my language, but
Get the hell.
I can say rice.
Okay.
Izerowa.
I love it. Love this part of the show. It's my favorite part. So that was, once again, what's your language, Samson? Edo. What's your language, Baron? Ibibio. So my language is Kalabari and Yoruba. Wait, love it. Love this part of the show.
What's rice in your language?
In Kalabari, it's Arusun.
Arusun.
And in Yoruba, it's Iresi. Why do you always have the S sound in rice? What's rice in your language?
It's in Ibibio is Adesi.
Adesi. Yes, it has that S as well.
Yeah.
And in yours?
In Edo, Ize.
Guess.
This is.
Yeah. Arusun. That's in Kalabari. All right, guys, we don't have time for anything else because we have to go. We've come to the end of Vivi's African News Magazine show for this Monday, the 22nd. 22nd. I will be back next week with more politics, history, news, spotlights, and everything in between. Until then, stay proudly African, and we'll see you next week. To play us out, here is Koloba Koloba by Adewale Ayuba. See you next week. Bye.
Alo ilo de wale Agbẹ́dẹ́gbẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ o. Sílẹ̀, bàbá wọn ká tán délẹ̀ o. Mi ò ní lọ síbi kan, bàbá wọn ká tán délẹ̀. I don't care what they say.